Hello everyone. Today we will discuss about JavaScript in HTML. So why do we need JavaScript? JavaScript helps the web developer to manipulate the browser and its contents, which was not possible with HTML alone. So JavaScript basically has more control of how the web page looks and behaves. How can we declare a JavaScript in an HTML code? We can do it with the help of the script tag. Now the script tag has two important attributes. One is language and another is tag. So what is language? This attribute specifies the scripting language that is being used. Its value is JavaScript. Type, this is the attribute to specify the scripting language. Its value is text/JavaScript. So now let us look into some of the JavaScript codes and some of the keywords that are present in JavaScript and how we can control and manipulate the browser and its contents. So first off, let us start with the alert statement. It is a statement that is used in JavaScript. Now this statement is actually used to display information to user, and the general format is, as you can see, alert and within bracket within double quotations the message. Let us see a program for this statement. You can see in this code, inside the JavaScript, we have used alert within the parentheses, within double quotations, hello, good morning. So this is how we have declared the JavaScript script. Then the two important attributes, language is equal to within double quotation the value JavaScript, type is equal to within quotations the value text/JavaScript, and alert within the parentheses within double quotation the message that I want to display in the browser. So let us run this code. And you can see an alert message appears that says, this site says hello, good morning, and press OK. Now we will talk about variables in JavaScript. Now what is a variable? A variable is a storage area that we give a name to, where any value is stored and which can be retrieved later on whenever required. The value can be given directly to it, or it can also be taken from a user. Now there are some rules for naming a variable. You simply cannot give any name to a variable. There are certain guidelines that we have to follow while naming a variable. So there are 4 guidelines. So the first guideline is the name must begin with a letter or the underscore character. It should not start with a digit. Means the name of a variable cannot start with digit 0 to 9. The name cannot begin with a number. So the first character is letter or underscore area. Now after the first letter, that means the rest of the letters can be digits, can also be letters, can also be underscore. But the beginning of the name of a variable will always have to start with a letter or an underscore character. Now the name of a variable cannot be a reserved word. Now what is a reserved word? We will discuss about it later on. And it cannot have spaces in a variable name. Means you cannot keep space in between a variable name. And the fourth one is that the variables in JavaScript is case sensitive. So if you write a name in small letters and the same in upper cases, both of them are not considered the same. They are different and they will be treated as a different variable. Now there are some examples of valid and invalid variables, just to make yourself clear. Now we will talk about reserved words. So what are reserved words? Reserved words are the words that have a specific meaning in the script. Now they cannot be used as a variable. So you can see here, these are some examples of keywords: abstract, boolean, break, byte, case, catch, cat, and so on. All these words are called keywords because all these words have a specific meaning within JavaScript. We use these words to write our own JavaScript, but we cannot use those names as a variable. So we need to skip these words because a variable name cannot be a keyword. And we will talk about data types. So there are total 3 types of data types. That is, a variable can store 3 types of values. That is, a variable can store 3 types of values: numbers, strings, and boolean. Numbers can be any number, can be decimal, can be an integer number, can be a negative number, can be a positive number. Strings can be a letter, can be a name, and boolean values, that is true or false. And now let us talk about document.write statement. So this is basically a statement that is used to display a value, a text, or the value of a variable or any number in the browser. So with the help of this statement, I can display the value of a variable, I can display a message, and also I can display any random number. But if I want to display both message and the value of a variable and a number all together, then I can use an operator called +i operator. It does not act as an additional operator, but it acts as a concatenation. That means if I use this symbol between a text and a number or a variable, then the document.write will display all those things together. So let us go through a code. So this is the code where we have declared 3 variables, and the way to declare variables is first you have to write var and keep a space, then write the variable name. So we have declared 3 variables. One is roll number passed and the other is student name. So the first variable has the value 2. The second variable has the value true. The third variable has the value a string, Rajdip. Document.write is the command that is used to display a message, also a number, and also the value of a variable. So this variable roll number has the value 2. This variable pass has the value true. This variable student name has the value Rajdip. So we can see that there are 3 document.write statements, where the first one is displaying a message, your roll number is, then a plus sign, that is a concatenation. That means after this message, the value of this variable will be shown, and then break means the next message will be displayed from the next line. Then this document.write will display this message, then plus the value of this variable, and this document.write will display this message and then the value of this variable. So let me run this code, and as you can see here, your roll number is the message and 2 is the value of the variable roll number. In the second one, did you pass? True. Did you pass is the message. True is the value of the variable passed. So with the help of this concatenation symbol, we are able to display a text and also the value of a variable at a time. And in the third one, your name is the message, and with the help of the concatenation symbol, along with that, we are able to display the value of the variable student name. We can also use arithmetic operators in JavaScript. The arithmetic operators are addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. Now there is a fifth arithmetic operator that is supported by JavaScript, and that is modulus. Unlike division, which gives us the quotient, modulus gives us the remainder. Arithmetic operators are also called binary operators because it requires minimum 2 operands to 1. Now let us say arithmetic operator precedence, which JavaScript follows. Operator precedence is kind of like the Bodmas rule of mathematics. Here in JavaScript, the precedence of arithmetic operators from highest to lowest is, first of all, it will calculate the equation that is inside parenthesis, then multiplication, division, modulus, and then addition and subtraction. So let us see a code based on arithmetic operators and arithmetic operator precedence. This is a code for arithmetic operators. Here you can see I have taken total of 7 variables, where A has the value 5 and B has the value 10. C will store the result of the addition of A and B. D will store the result of the subtraction of B from A. E will store the result of the multiplication of A and B. F will store the result when A is divided by B, and G will store the remainder when A is divided by B. That is A modulo B. And you know, with the help of document.write, I am trying to display a message. Along with the message, I am also trying to display the values of the variables. So let me run this code, and you can see here are the values, where the value of A is 5 and B is 10. Now this is the code for arithmetic precedence. Here you can see I have taken 2 variables. These 2 variables will store the result of 2 arithmetic operations. This is an arithmetic operation, and this is also an arithmetic operation, but there is a difference between both of them. Here 5 plus 6 is inside the parenthesis, whereas here there is no parenthesis. So according to the precedence, first the parenthesis will be carried out, then the modulus will be carried out, and in this case, according to arithmetic precedence, first the modulus will be carried out and then the addition will be carried out. So let us run this code, and you can see 5 plus 6 modulo 2 is 5. As we know, first the modulus will be carried out, then the addition will be done for the first arithmetic operation. So 6 modulo 2 is 0, because the remainder of 6 divided by 2 is 0. 5 plus 0 is 5. And for the second case scenario, first the parenthesis will be carried out, then the modulus will be carried out. So within the parenthesis, it is 5 plus 6. So first the value of 5 plus 6 is being carried out, which is 11. And 11 divided by 2, the remainder is 1. Now let us talk about increment and decrement operators. Increment and decrement operators are also known as unary operators because they require only one operand. The increment operator plus plus increases the value stored in a variable by 1. the decrement operator minus replaces the value stored in a variable by 1. If the value of a is 10, then a plus plus will become 11, means the value that is stored in the variable a will be incremented by 1. That means the value itself will be added with 1. And for a minus the value that is stored within the variable a will be decremented by 1. That is, the original value will be subtracted by 1. So now we will talk about comparison operators. These are also called relational operators, and these are used to compare between two expressions. So let us consider the value of a is 5 and the value of b is 10. So comparison operator equal means we are going to check whether both of the conditions or both of the values are same or not. So let us look at the example a equal b. That means we are trying to see whether the value of a and the value of b is same or not. But as we know that the value of a is 5 and the value of b is 10, so it is not true. So the result will be false. Not equal to means if the value of a is not equal to b and it is true, the value of a is not equal to b, so it is true. Greater than b. So we are trying to see if the value of a is greater than b. So the value of a is not greater than b. So the result is false. Less than. So yes, obviously the value of a is less than b. So it is true. Greater than equal to. So neither the value of a is greater than b nor the value of a is equal to b. So it is false. Less than equal to. Yes, the value of a is not the same as b, but the value of a is less than b. So in these two cases what happens, I will check for greater than equal to whether the value is greater than the other. If it is not greater, then I will check whether it is equal to the other or not. Whereas in case of less than, I will check whether it is less than the other. Even if it is not less than, then I will check whether it is equal to or not. Now let us talk about logical operators. JavaScript supports three logical operators, and or and not. They are used with one or more relational expressions, and it results in either true or false. So let us see what is the use of the logical operators and or and not. Again, let us consider the value of the variable a is 5 and b is 10. So let us go through the example a not equal to b and then a greater than equal to b. So in this case what happens? Both a not equal to b and a greater than b must be satisfied. So as the value of a is 5, so the first condition a is not equal to b is true, and the second condition a greater than equal to b is not true because the value of a is not greater than b and neither it is equal to b. So as both of the conditions needs to be satisfied, but only one is being satisfied and the other is not being satisfied, so the result will be false. In case of OR, any one of the case needs to be true. That means, so if the first condition satisfies and the second condition does not satisfy, the result will be true. If the first condition does not satisfy but the second satisfies, then the result will be true. If both of them satisfy, then again the result will be true. In case of NOT operator, if the condition is true, then the result will become false. And if the condition is false, the result will be true. Now let us talk about compound assignment operators. Simply let us consider the value of the variable a is 5 and the value of the variable c is 15, and let us go through some of the examples to understand compound assignment operators. So these are the compound assignment operators. Plus is equal to, minus is equal to, into is equal to, divide is equal to, and modulus is equal to. So here in the example, c plus is equal to a, it means that c is equal to c plus a. So c is equal to c plus a can be written as c plus is equal to a. Similarly, c is equal to c minus a can be written as c minus is equal to a. C is equal to c into a can be written as c into is equal to a. C is equal to c divided by a can be written as c divided is equal to a. And c is equal to c modulo a can be written as c modulo is equal to a. It's very simple. Now let us talk about conditional operator. The conditional operator evaluates the expression and returns the value written after question mark if the condition evaluated is true. In case the result is false, the value after colon is written. So the general format of conditional operator is result is equal to condition question mark true colon false. So when the condition will be checked, if the condition is true, then whatever the value is declared after question mark will be displayed if the condition is true. But if the condition is false, then whatever the value that is declared after colon will be displayed. So let us see one example of conditional operator. This is an example of conditional operator. You can see I have taken two variables age and result, where I have assigned the value 20 to the variable age, and now I am trying to see what is the condition age greater than 18. then question mark, you are over 18 years, this is the message if the condition becomes true, and you are below 18, this is the message if the condition becomes false. So the value of age is 20. So is age greater than 18? True. So the value after question mark will be displayed on the browser. And here I am declaring the result, document.write result. So let me run this code. And you can see, as the condition is true, the value after question mark is you are over 18 years, and it displays you are over 18 years. So now we will talk about prompt dialog box. Why do we need prompt dialog box? Prompt dialog box is used to take an input from the user. So you can see the general format of prompt dialog box. We need to use prompt. I have to assign it to a variable. So here the variable is age. The prompt will give a pop-up message where it will ask for a value. So let us see an example of it to better understand this. Here you can see it's the same program as the earlier one, but in the earlier code I have directly assigned a value to the variable age. At this time, I'm trying to take a value from the user with the help of the prompt dialog box. So let me run this code. And you can see it is asking me for a value. So let me give a value, say 15. And you can see it says you are below 18. As you can see here, if the condition is true, then this is the message that will be displayed after question mark. If the condition is false, then this is the message that will be displayed after colon. Now let us talk about simple and compound statement. A simple statement consists of a single instruction. It does not require braces to enclose it. But what is a compound statement? A compound statement consists of several instructions grouped in a block. So if I use several statements, then they must be enclosed in braces. So we will know about this in the upcoming discussion. Now we will talk about if statement. If statement is a control statement that controls the flow of our code. The normal syntax for if statement is first you will type the if, then after if you have to declare a parenthesis. Within the parenthesis you must declare a condition. Now the condition will be evaluated. Once the condition is evaluated, depending on the outcome of the evaluation of the condition, that is whether the result is true or false, the following statement or statements will be executed. This is a very simple if statement code. Here what you can see, I am trying to take a value from the user and I want to store it in A. Then I want to calculate what is the modulus of A by 2. So as you know, the modulus of A by 2 means it will give us the result. Now remember, each and every even number when divided by 2 will always give us the remainder 0. So that is what we want to find out. So see, within the parenthesis, what is the condition? The condition is result equals 0. So obviously you know this is a comparison operator. So what I want to compare that whether the value of result is equal to 0 or not. So if the value of the variable result is equal to 0, that means the number A that we have taken from the user is a positive number or even number. Now we can also make some modification. For example, we can omit this variable. We can also delete this statement, and the calculation that we want to do, we can do the calculation within the parenthesis of the if statement directly. That means if I type here A modulus 2 equals 0 will also work. Means what will happen inside this parenthesis, that first this will be calculated, and if the value of that is equal to 0, that is depending on the result, if the value becomes equal to 0, then the following statement, what is the statement? The statement is document.write A, as you already know, is the variable, the value that will be displayed, plus, which is a concatenation symbol, then the message will be displayed is a even number. So if the value is 5, then 5 modulo 2 will be 1, because when you will divide 5 by 2, the remainder will be 1, which is not equal to 0. Hence, this statement will not be executed. But if you give the value 4 modulo 2, that is the remainder when the number 4 is divided by 2 will be equal to 0, then the following statement, that is the statement document.write A plus is a even number, will be executed because the condition becomes true. So if the condition that is equals 0, if the output of the calculation becomes 0, which is the condition itself, it becomes true, only then the statement will be executed. But if the condition is not true, then the statement will not be executed. Now let me execute the code, and as you can see that the prompt box appears and it is asking me for a number. So let us give it a number, and you can see the result, it shows that that number is a positive number. Now let me reload the code. Again the prompt box will appear and let me give it a number, say 5. But now you can see that it displays nothing. Why is it? It's because if you carefully look at the code, there is no statement to display whether the number is an odd number or not. Whereas earlier in our conditional operator, there were two statements. One was for the true value and the other was for the false value. But here, this statement works only when the condition is true. But we have not given any statement when the condition becomes false. So how can we declare a statement for the condition enclosed in the parentheses of the if? We can do that by simply putting another statement. So the statement declared under the else statement is the statement that works when the condition becomes false. Now you can see these are simple statements. If I would have declared another statement under the if statement, then these two statements together becomes a compound statement. Then we need to enclose them within curly braces. But if we declare only a single statement, then we do not need to enclose them within the curly braces. And that is what is meant a simple statement and a compound statement. Now let me save the code and run the code again. The prompt box appears and let us now try to give it a odd number, 5. And you can see now the result shows that 5 is a odd number. Till now we have discussed about if-else statement. So in if-else statement we have used only a single condition, and depending on the single condition there are two outcomes. But what if we need to go through multiple conditions? That means I need to prepare a code where I need to go through multiple conditions and the outcome of the code will depend on multiple conditions. In that case we have to use the if-else if statement. So the general format of if-else if statement and how to use it in a code we will go through. As you can see, we will now try to solve this question with the help of that if-else if statement. In that code, we will come to know how to use if-else if statement, how to declare a if-else if statement. So let's see. So this is the code for the question that you have seen just now. This is a if-else if statement. You see, the first condition is under if, the second condition is under else if, else if, and in the second condition we have also used a logical operator, and in the end the else statement, and then when the if-else if statement is over, we have declared the result. Let us go through the program. The question says to take a purchase amount from a user and calculate the discount and the net amount based on the criteria that you can see in this table. If the purchase amount is less than or equal to 5,000, then the discount will be 2%. If the purchase amount is greater than 5,000 and less than or equal to 10,000, the discount is 5%. Otherwise, that is greater than 10,000 means what? Else, the discount is 8%. So it's a very simple program. Let us try or use if-else if statement and write the code for this query. So you can see I have taken three variables n, p and d. So n is for net amount, p is for purchase amount, d is for discount. So first I want to take the purchase amount. So I have declared p is equal to prompt, which will take a number from the user. So we can see that the first condition within the if statement is if the principal amount is less than or equal to 5,000, then there are certain calculations that are needed to be done. The second condition under else if the principal amount is greater than 5,000 and less than or equal to 10,000, then the certain conditions are to be done. Now remember, this logical operator AND means that the condition must satisfy both p greater than 5,000 and p less than or equal to 10,000. So there must be a value which should be greater than 5,000 and also must be less than or equal to 10,000. In case of that value, certain values are being calculated, and if the number does not satisfy either of the case, then certain values are being calculated. As you can see in the table, it says that if purchase amount is less than or equal to 5,000, then the discount will be 2%. And again you can see in the question, the formula to calculate the net amount is equal to purchase amount minus discount. So n is equal to p minus d, but for that we need to find out the d first. So for P less than equal to 5,000, the discount is 2%. So discount is equal to 2% of principal amount, and the net amount is equal to P, that is the purchase amount, minus discount. For the second condition, when the value of purchase amount is greater than 5,000 and also less than or equal to 10,000, then the discount is equal to the 5% of the purchase amount, and net amount is equal to purchase amount minus discount. And else, that is when the value is greater than, neither less than or equal to 5,000, neither in between 5,000 and 10,000, but greater than 10,000, then under else, the discount is 8% of principal amount, and the net amount is equal to principal amount minus discount. Now, once this if-else-if statement has been declared, depending on the condition, one result will be calculated, and that result will be displayed with the help of this statement. We are also declaring the discount. Along with that, in between, we are also declaring the value of the variable n, that is the net amount, and the value of the variable d, that is discount. And the code is over. So let us run this code. You can see that the code is asking me for a value. So let me give some value less than 5,000. And you can see that the net amount is 4,410 and the discount is 90. Try to give a value between 5,000 and 10,000. And you can see that the net amount is 7,600 and the discount is 400. Now let us try to give a value more than 10,000. And you can see that the net amount is 11,040 and the discount is 960. Now, if there are a large number of alternative routes in the if statement, then we can use a switch case statement. The general format of switch case statement is as follows. As you can see here, after the switch command, inside this parenthesis, we will declare a expression. Now, depending on the value of the expression, there are certain cases. For the first case, if the value of the first case matches with the value of the expression, then the statements inside the first case will be executed, and then the work of the break statement is to force the program to jump to the end of the switch structure, and then the result will be declared. So we can take from this general format that if the value for the first case matches the value of the expression, then the first block will be executed. Then, because of the break statement, it will come out of the switch construct. If the first value does not match with the value of the expression, then it will go and check for the second. The second one matches, then the statement inside the second case will be executed. If the second one does not match, then it will keep on continuing checking all the cases. And if none of the value of none of the cases match with the value of the expression, then there is a default statement. So if none of the values from the cases match with the expression, the default statement will execute the statements inside the default statement. So let us see an example of this switch case statement to better understand the code. So this is the code for a switch case statement. Here we are trying to find whether the alphabet that is given by a user is a vowel or a consonant. So here in the prompt, I have declared a message to enter a letter or alphabet in lowercase because I have taken all the cases for lower cases. You can also add 5 more cases with capital A, E, I, O, U. But this is just an example. So once the user enters any one of the alphabet, and if any one of that alphabet matches with any one of these cases, then the document.write command will display the value of that variable, and along with that, it will also display the message that the alphabet is a vowel. But if it does not match with any of the cases, then it will jump to default, and inside default, whatever the statement is declared, that statement will be carried out, or that statement will be executed. So in that case, it will display the message that the alphabet that the user has entered is a consonant. So let me run this code. So you can see it displays a message, enter a letter or alphabet in lowercase. And you can see it says that E is a vowel. Again, T, and you can see that it says that T is a consonant. So thank you everyone. In the next video, we will discuss about loops in JavaScript. Have a nice day.